And they finish the operation, and there will be hardly any blood dropping. Science had moved to such an extent that operation now is almost like the one God performed on Adam. When he put him to sleep, took a rib out of his body and turned her to a woman. You know that there's no record that a drop of blood fell to the... So if you have been a doctor for a long time, but then you have ceased to be a doctor for a while, you can't even practice anymore. So many of us have talents that we have ceased using. I pray today that we will wake up, that those talents will be renewed. And then once in a while, we find something that becomes old and cannot even be renewed. And this happens when there is complete dissociation between you and God. For example, in Judges chapter 16, you can read the story from verse 18 to the end. Judges 16 from verse 18 to the end is the story of Samson. You know that fellow very well. This was a man, a one-man army. On one occasion, single-handedly, with the jawbone of an ass, he killed 1,000 people. 1,000 people. But the moment his contact with God was cut off, he became like an ordinary man. And so these people who captured him, they realized that him is God, can do anything. This fellow is weak now, but God can renew his strength. They said, let us do something very quickly before his strength will come back. They plucked out his eyes. And you know what happened? His hair began to grow again. Renewal of his strength was on the way. But his eyes were... I pray for you today. That thing that can happen that will cause God to say, I'm no longer interested in you, will never happen again. That's why God, Jeremiah chapter 3 verse 22, Jeremiah 3 verse 22, he said, hey, are you cut off from me? Are you backsliding? He said, you better come back quickly so I can heal your backsliding. You know the story of the prodigal son in Luke chapter 15. You can read it from verse 11 to 24. Luke 15, 11 to 24. The prodigal son left home. And when he got away, he began to enjoy himself. And then, sooner or later, hunger came, famine came. And all his friends deserted him. And they wouldn't even allow him to eat the food they were giving to animals. He came to his senses. He said, rather than die of hunger, I will go back to my father. And said, don't treat me as a son, just take me as a servant, so I don't die of hunger. The boy came to his senses. He ran back to his father. And the father received him. I said, well, you've already taken your inheritance, but come back. At least eat, drink, be clothed. I pray for every one of you who are backsliding. In the name that's above every other name, return to God today. Finally, how can I remain forever new? That's the text I read to you. In Isaiah chapter 40, if you read verse 31 there, Isaiah 40 verse 31, he says, they that wait upon the Lord, they that are connected to the Lord, shall renew their strength constantly. You know what? When you plug a water heater to the socket and it becomes red hot, and you drop it in a bucket of water, as long as it remains connected to the source, it is the water that will boil. It is the water that will dry up. That iron will remain hot. But if you get that same boiler, you point it, you plug it to the socket, it becomes hot. You unplug it and drop it in water. The water will boil and bubble. Very soon the hot water will begin to cool down. And as the water is cooling, the boiler will also be cooling. At the end of the day, the boiler that cannot be touched with ordinary hand, a child can play with it because it has been disconnected. Disconnected. As long as you are connected to the socket of the Most High, the enemy can't touch you. No. Every day you'll be looking younger. Every day you'll be feeling stronger. A friend of mine, we're about the same age, called me at the beginning of this year. My friend, I said, sir, how are you doing it? I said, doing what? I hear you are at 80, you are running up and down as a small boy. I say, if I tell you the secret, will you believe me? Remain connected. Stay connected to the one who, according to the first passage, the first verse, the one who is never tired, the one who never grows old, the one who is always there, the one who does not sleep, the one who does not slumber. Remain connected to him, and his power will be flowing through you, renewing you from day to day. Not too long ago, I went to One Nation, and I decided, as is my custom, to go for a walk in the morning. And two of my sons decided that they wanted to walk with me. So you are welcome. After some time, I look back. Where are these boys? I've left them far behind. When I was returning, I met them on the way. What happened? We didn't know you are going to go that far. They that wait upon the Lord shall do what? Renew their strength. I decree to every one of you here today, particularly those of you who are younger than I, even when you are over 80, you will still be strong. And we are not just talking about being strong physically. We're talking about being strong mentally. We're talking about being strong spiritually. We're talking about being strong emotionally. I was telling somebody about something that happened to me in 1951. He said, how can you be remembering all these details? They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. So, if you have not yet surrendered your life to Jesus Christ, you are not even connected yet. But you can become connected today. All you need to do is come to him. He will receive you and he will plug you into the family of God. And if you are a backslider, come back. He's waiting to receive you. Come and reconnect to the Almighty God. I'm going to count from 1 to 7. Before I say 7, if you want to be connected to Jesus or reconnected to him, come and stand before the altar and I will pray for you. I'm counting now. 1.
You want to give your life to Christ, please come to the altar.
2.
2. Let's clap to encourage those that want to give their life to Christ.
3. 4.
Thank you, sister. Please come. Is there any other person?
5.